Have you ever really stopped to think about the magic that happens when you just scan a QR code and pay? I mean, how one single system, in less than a decade, completely rewired the financial DNA of the world's most populous nation, and is now making some serious waves across the globe? This isn't just a story about convenience, not at all. This is the story of a silent revolution, a technological leapfrog that has created a digital goldmine of economic activity. This is the story of UPI. No, really, think about it for a second. When was the last time you actually had to use physical cash for your morning coffee or for your groceries? For literally hundreds of millions of people, the whole act of fumbling for exact change or worrying if a card machine works, it already feels like this distant, almost ancient memory. That seamless tap of your phone has become second nature, but the system behind it, it's truly extraordinary. So to really get why this is so revolutionary, we need to hop in a time machine and go back to the early 2010s. The world of online payments back then was, to put it nicely, clumsy. It was this fragmented landscape of different systems that honestly felt like they were designed to frustrate you. Back then, you basically had two main choices, and both had huge drawbacks. First, you had net banking. Now, it was secure, for sure, but man, it was a maze. You needed a specific username, a password, often a second transaction password, and then you'd have to wait for a one-time code to get sent to your phone. On the other side, you had the rise of digital wallets. They felt a little slicker, but they were basically what we call walled gardens. Your money was just locked in with one company, and if you ran out, you had to go through that whole clunky reloading process all over again. So the bottom line is this: nothing talked to each other. A wallet from company A couldn't just easily send money to a wallet from company B. And don't even get me started on using credit or debit cards online. That meant painstakingly typing out 16-digit numbers, expiry dates, and CVVs for pretty much every single purchase. The whole experience was just defined by high friction and a ton of complexity. The solution wasn't going to be just another app or another wallet. What was needed was something much bigger, a kind of public utility, like a digital railroad for money that everyone could just use. And in 2016, the National Payments Corporation of India, or NPCI, built exactly that. They launched the Unified Payments Interface, and it changed everything.
You know, the idea behind it was breathtakingly simple, but at the same time profoundly powerful. See, UPI isn't a bank or a wallet. It's an interface. It's this layer that just sits on top of all the existing banking infrastructure. It connects all your different bank accounts into a single mobile app, letting you send or receive money instantly, 24/7, using nothing more than a simple, easy-to-remember virtual address.
The real masterstroke here can be broken down into three simple steps. First, it unified the entire banking system onto one platform. Boom, done. Second, it simplified the user experience down to a single app, whichever one you want to use. And third, it made transfers instant. No more waiting for hours or days, no more hunting for weird bank codes for specific branches. It just worked. So, how big did this simple idea actually get? Well, since it launched in 2016, the growth hasn't been a wave. It's been an absolute tsunami. The numbers we're about to look at are, well, they're staggering. And frankly, they're kind of hard to even wrap your head around. Okay, get this. As of late 2025, UPI is handling over 15 billion transactions every single month. Let me say that again because it sounds made up. 15 billion. Just let that number sink in. That works out to a mind-boggling 500 million transactions every single day. The scale is just immense.
And what about the value of all those transactions? We're talking about roughly $3 trillion flowing through this system every month. To put that into perspective, the value of transactions in a single month is bigger than the annual GDP of entire countries like the United Kingdom or France. It's incredible. And look, this isn't some niche product fighting for a piece of the pie. UPI has captured over 90% of the entire retail digital payments market in India. It's not just a payment system anymore, it's the financial backbone for over 1 billion people, powering everything from a 10-cent cup of tea to a multi-million-dollar business deal.
Now, when you have numbers like that, the world starts to pay attention. And that is exactly what's been happening. This success story isn't staying within India's borders anymore. You know, for decades, India was mainly an importer of technology. With UPI, it has become a premier Fintech exporter, sharing its blueprint with the rest of the world.
And the global rollout, it's been fast and super strategic. It started with neighbors like Nepal and Bhutan. Then came this landmark link with Singapore's PayNow, which just slashed the costs of sending money back home. In the UAE, Indian travelers can now pay directly at shops, and in a huge symbolic moment, UPI was launched at the Eiffel Tower in Paris, opening a gateway to Europe. In early 2024, Sri Lanka and Mauritius came online, and now advanced talks are happening with nations from Japan to regions all across Africa and Latin America. So what does this mean for the global chessboard of payments? Well, this isn't just friendly competition. It's a fundamental challenge to the way things have always been done. The giants, Visa, MasterCard, they operate on a model where they earn a small percentage fee from every single transaction. But UPI was built as a public utility with near zero merchant fees. For a small shop owner, that is a revolution. For a company whose entire business model relies on those fees, well, it's a direct existential threat.
But okay, let's be real, the journey isn't all smooth sailing. To get the complete picture, we need to talk about the challenges UPI is facing and what the future really holds for this platform. It's a story of constant evolution.
There are really three key areas to watch. First, security. While the core UPI system is basically a fortress, the battleground has shifted to the user. You see these sophisticated scams that trick people into authorizing payments, and it's created this constant cat-and-mouse game. Second is system stability. Ever had a payment fail? That's often not UPI itself, but the server of a specific bank being down. That reliance on hundreds of banks creates potential weak spots. And third, there's the ongoing challenge of the digital divide, making sure that everyone, especially in rural and elderly populations, can use this tech safely.
But what about the big question, right? Data breaches. This is critical. To date, there has been no major, publicly reported data breach of the core UPI central system itself. The infrastructure is incredibly robust and encrypted. Your data actually stays with your bank, not in some central UPI database. Now, breaches can happen at the app level or through scams, but the core system itself has remained solid.
So where does this whole revolution go next? Well, the future is tied directly to the rise of artificial intelligence. Imagine this. Your smart fridge notices you're low on milk. It tells your AI assistant, which then places an order from the store and pays for it using UPI, all without you lifting a finger. This is the coming world of agentic payments, where AI agents handle transactions for us. And with UPI's open design, this isn't science fiction, it's the next logical step.
From a tea seller on a street corner in Mumbai to a tourist at the Eiffel Tower in Paris, UPI has totally redefined the act of exchanging value. It's democratized digital finance on a scale we've never seen before. That digital goldmine we talked about at the beginning, it's not just about the money, it's the data, the economic activity, the new businesses built on these digital rails. It's a foundation for a whole new kind of economy. The silent revolution is getting louder every day. So the question is, are you ready for your AI to start handling your finances?